This is SportsCenter right now. I'm Will Reeve. 35 points, 14 rebounds, 6 assists, and 1 dunk for the Hall of Fame induction montage were not enough for LeBron James to carry the Cavs past the Blazers. Here's LeBron after his team's 8-point loss.
It's been a long time since I haven't played, with another All-Star, on my team. So having Kev out, it's been very, very challenging, obviously, for all of us. Kev is, big usage rate on our team. We get the ball when things get chaotic. We can throw it to him in the low post to get some things going. But it's not just Kev. We missing double T as well. Rodney went back out again. So, you take obviously you want to win every game, but my approach doesn't change.
Sending it back to First Take for more on LeBron right now.
The King opened up there. Lots to get into with the Cavs' loss last night. But first, let's give a little respect to that dunk by LeBreezy. Max, were you impressed?
Yep. Impressed by King James? First of all, that dunk was, I don't know how it's humanly possible. Like, did he jump off a springboard? He's in his early 30s already, approaching his mid-30s. He's played more minutes than anyone who ever lived who's still been the best player in the game, including Kareem, who didn't have to play the same style as LeBron James. And he doesn't just dunk it. Stephen A., that's an all-timer. He had an all-timer. That is a Hall of Fame highlight reel dunk. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. The fact that physically, we know mentally he can make up for some physical erosion, but physically he can do that is unreal.
Well, you mean, you're just learning that, Max? Because, you were on TV just yesterday talking about how he's lost a step and he's not the same and all of this other stuff, as great as and phenomenal as he is, and you certainly never denied that. I do believe it was you that was on national television just yesterday talking about what he lost. So it's nice to see that you woke up last night and was reminded as to what he hasn't lost. It was a sensational dunk, no question about it, but let's pump the brakes a little bit. I can go to it when you say it's unbelievable. Okay, that's that's hyperbole to some degree or whatever, because it's very believable with LeBron James. A and B, we've seen some big time dunks before. I've seen Tracy McGrady do some big time dunks like that. I've seen Vince Carter do some big time dunks like that. I've seen Kobe do some big time dunks like that, and so have you.
When they were young.
So let's be very clear. I understand that. I understand. I'm just saying, we see it. If you want to bring into account his age, it was unbelievable because of his age, fine. But I'm talking about the actual dunk. It was fantastic. It was great. But we've seen it before, is all I'm trying to say. Okay? That's all I'm trying to say.
Never from a guy his age with that kind of, but never from a guy his age with those kind of miles on his legs. Like, this is probably the greatest old man dunk or dunk after playing X number of minutes in the league of all time. And Stephen A., my point yesterday was just this. Yes, he's capable of flashes of brilliance and even sustained periods of brilliance, but he can't play with the same energy on both sides of the floor all season long as he could 5 years ago. So that he can do this in critical moments. He can still do this in high leverage moments. He just can't sustain it.
I got you. I got you. I ain't gonna argue with you about it. I know what you said, but it's okay. I know you're gonna explain it again. Just like the cliff, and then the cliff's 18, and then 2 years, and Lord knows I'm not even trying to open that can of worms with you. You'll just keep moving the line. I'm not gonna worry about it. Let's move on, Molly. I'm not gonna even go there. I'm not gonna even go there. He'll just move the lines. Let's go.
All right, guys. So the dunk was nice.
I'm not moving any line.
The bad news, though, for the Cavs was that they lost again. Since the All-Star break, they're 5-7. It's been over a month since the Cavs have beaten a team that's in playoff position. We just heard Ron say they really miss Kevin Love. Stephen, do you have a problem with him talking about needing help again?
No, I originally did because of what the reports were saying. Watching him on video answering the question, I had no problem with what he said. He spoke factually. The fact of the matter is they're not the same without Kevin Love, particularly when you don't have Kyrie to lean on anymore and it's just you, LeBron. But I was prepared to come on the air and just basically go off and go like this. Look, man, I sat there and told Kevin Durant, I don't want to hear any whining about how we miss Steph Curry. Get the hell over it. You're a superstar. You're one of the greatest players in the world. It's the regular season. Figure it out. In the case of LeBron James, I certainly wasn't going to let him off the hook. But then if you're asking him a question about how things are different because of the personnel that he doesn't have, and he's articulating what the difference is, I can't hold him accountable for that. He's answering truthfully. They're not the same without Kevin Love. I will say this. You know, one of the things that I was also going to bring up was what Barkley had said, Charles Barkley, where he said, damn, you need everything. But that's if LeBron James was complaining. If he were complaining, I would have an issue. If he's just stating a point in fact, I can't knock that. It is clear they are not the same team without Kevin Love. It is clear that they desperately need Kevin Love back. It is clear that Kevin Love has been undervalued and underappreciated in terms of his contribution to this franchise. He's a 6'9", 6'10" dude who can hit threes better than most and is big enough and skilled enough to play with his back to the basket in the post when necessary. And so when you look at it from that perspective and the fact that they don't have that available to them, that's a huge loss, particularly when you don't have Kyrie. So I didn't have an issue with LeBron saying it because LeBron was answering a question as opposed to complaining about what they were lacking. There's a difference.
Well, first of all, Kevin Love, he is an NBA 6'9", and bare feet he's like a little over 6'7". And that's part of the reason I think LeBron and everybody likes him so much, because he is perceived as a big. I'm telling you, in bare feet, he's 6'7" and a little change. He's been measured. Matter of fact, he'll even tell you if you ask him. But the point is,
we just did a commercial together a few months ago. I was standing right next to him for hours. I think I would know if he's 6'9" and above. I'm telling you, he's 6'9" and above.
Okay, but I'm just talking about what the rule. Okay, I'm telling you what the tape measure says. But listen, the point is that Kevin Love had this reputation as one of the top 5 players in the league. He's the best player on a bad team, and he's an excellent player. And because he's perceived as a big. He's not exactly, but he's perceived as a big who was bombing threes before many other bigs were, like Dirk was, and there weren't too many other guys who were doing that and who could also pass the way he could and his rebounding. So he's perceived as this almost MVP caliber player. When LeBron came back to the Cavs, remember, it's not just that the Cavs had Kyrie, it's that they drafted Andrew Wiggins, and LeBron said, basically, you trade that guy for Kevin Love. Now I can do something. So LeBron thought very highly of Kevin Love, and having played with him, he still obviously recognizes, even if Love's not an MVP caliber player, he's an all-star caliber player. And no one does anything without at least another all-star on their team, particularly when there's really no other sure shot, bona fide, that guy is a starter on a championship team caliber player on the Cavs. There are lots of guys who could be in championship rotations who are on the Cavs, who could be a starter on a championship team because there are like 3 other all-stars on that team, so you can afford to kind of take a bubble starter and make him a starter, have him play a limited role in certain respects, etc. But there's no one. Even like Hood could eventually be a really good player. Right now, he is a starter-ish, kind of maybe just under caliber player, and that's basically everyone else on the team. So if LeBron's asked a question and he gives an honest response, I don't think we can kill him for it. The only guy I can think of, Stephen A., who was in a major media market and every day was asked questions where he could have stepped in it and never did, is Derek Jeter. Like, Andrew Luck is a version of that now. Somehow they're able to say and give you what sounds like a plausible answer, and there's no meat there. There's nothing that the critics can really hook into. LeBron's not that. LeBron will give you a little more honesty and a little something more grist for the mill.
Yeah, I mean, that about sums it up.
Okay. Coming up, guys, Richard Sherman has barely been a 49er for a week. He's already started trashing the Seahawks. We'll tell you what he's talking about. And Adrian Peterson joining us next. Lots of NFL free agency to break down with him. Stay put.
Sitting at my house.
If you had the Mona Lisa in your possession and the insurance premiums were $10 million a year, you still pay the premium.
What?
Of course I made business decisions.